Hello and welcome to another episode of me painting again. So, I'm gonna go for this. This paint has been on this palette a few days. It keeps going in the fridge. Keep putting it in the fridge after use. So I'm making myself a pale sort of greeny colour. Greeny bluey colour. And I'm going to put this in the background because what I want is some hill. Kind of goes like that. And I want it to be kind of paley bluish, throwing in sap greens and cerulean blues. Like that. There. Even a little bit of the old burnt sienna as well. About here. So I want it to get more colour as it gets closer. More greens and browns. And I sort of blend it as I go. Using brush strokes. Don't really worry too much about blending, actually. It's one of those things that I don't focus on. When I used to paint, when I first started painting, that was the one thing I used to focus on for some reason. Don't know why. But anyway, let's carry on. A bit more darkness here, you see. I don't mind some of the paper showing through on this one. So we're going to have a waterfall coming down here. So I want to think about the rocks and stuff. The rocks and stuff that the water's going to be running on. So I want that to be a bit darker. Bit of blue, bit of brown, bit of green. This palette is going to need changing soon, isn't it? Done a few paintings using this though. But yeah, it is coming to an end. Going to need to use a bit more paper. A bit more of the old... oh no, I just dipped my hand in the paint when I was moving that. Yeah, I need a bit more of that old stuff. So we'll have this dark bit because we want to be able to show where the water's coming from, so we can have these dark areas. So we'll paint the water on top. So we can create that illusion by using dark and then light. But then as it goes up here, we can go a little bit lighter before we get down here. Go even lighter there. Okay, that's pretty good. Have that sort of running that way. Try and think flat thoughts with this as well. Areas that are a bit darker like there. And then the water's gonna fall into this bit, which has got a bit of a greeny, browny sort of look to it. So it's quite transparent water, so we can have that going in there. Something like that to start with. I'll just... Oh, actually, I know it's a bit reflective. I'm going to give it a dry off in a minute. I've just realised I haven't put the sky in yet. So I'm going to get some white and some blue. Put in a sky here. There we go. I can use my finger while it's still wet. I can use my finger to soften that edge, because that's quite far away. I don't want it to be too strong back there. Okay. Just sort of looking at everything. I'm just drying my brush a second. I want a bit more dark in places. A bit more dark over here. Bit of blue and brown. It makes a nice dark. And sort of rocks and stuff. Maybe there's some there as well. Get something in front of that. I'm just going to hold I'm thinking about the water holding it in. Don't want it to spill out of the page over here, so I need to sort of hold that water in. I can I'm going to have a bit of grass there. Don't want that to be too strong. Some sort of rock marks. Again, keep that fairly soft. Okay, something like that gets it going. I'm just going to dry that off now. So I'm now ready for my next stage. So I've got my background. My sky's in, got my area for my water to run, but I want a little bit more detail. I kind of want some trees as well, some trees growing at the sides and So what I might start with is a white that's not too bright, not like this. So I've got these greys here that I've been using, greeny greys. Might go into a little bit of that to get an off-white, because what I'm thinking is keep my white dull to start with, then I can boost it if I want to, and it'll keep the keep it in the background as well. So imagine the water's running around there, and then it comes out here and goes and sort of splashes there, and then might go a tiny bit lighter actually, because that is a bit too dull. I want to actually be able to see it. But you can do that for real distant areas. To make it really distant, you could leave it like that, to be honest. It's just, it doesn't... Oops. Oh, I've got white on my finger, and I've already put it in the water. Oh, never mind. Just lick my finger and smudge it. Yeah, just so you can see it better, I'm gonna... So we've got it rolling. Like that. Okay, got it splashing there. Got it coming forward. Maybe I can sort of... So it's splashing there, and then it comes down and... Maybe it comes down to there. I could have a bit that sort of goes along, and then it sort of drips down there as well, so it breaks away. Splashes there. And then it goes, and then it comes along here maybe, and splashes there. What I can do is get a little bit of the blue in it as well, especially in areas where the sky is going to reflect on it a little bit, like there at the tops. And then maybe here it sort of flows along this, and another fall there. And then here it's just sort of flowing nicely out. So what I can do is imagine there's a bit of sunlight hitting these bits a bit more than the rest, which is something I like doing. So what I can do Grab some yellow and white. Bit of yellow ochre and white. And make it over here. Because I want less other colours in it. Mostly white and yellow ochre. My palette's getting a bit too full of colours. But we did it eventually. So imagine the light is hitting this area a bit more. So I can have a bit more light coming on this area. Just a bit of sparkle. Which is good. I like that. Bit of pocket of light just hitting some of these areas. It's hitting this. Might add a little bit on that as well. Not as much. Some little blips of light. Yeah, something like that. So I can have a bit more, I think, down here, a bit more light that sort of hits there and comes out. Something like that. Same with this area. I need the areas where the water's hitting. Get those little splashes. Got a nice little sparkle on that now, I quite like that. Might put a rock in amongst it. Just to break it up a little bit. Bit of a rock, maybe. Maybe there's a rock there. Get that rock there. Sort of putting that in there. Looks a bit like a step, but make that a rock side. Things like that. few darker bits there just to make it look a little bit better, so it's not completely see-through. So it's a bit more see-through, I mean. So it's not like a mass of colour. I like that. Right, now what I want some trees. So I'm going to make my trees with a bit of yellow ochre, bit of green, bit of brown, bit of white, something like that. Bit of this burnt sienna as well. That's quite nice. I'll try that. I have one tree there. Right there, growing. Just thinking of where the light's coming from as well. We'll put a bit darker on this side. I'll have that growing in there. Maybe with the smaller brush, can get that same tree colour, and I'll throw it in the grey. So what I've done, I got that same tree colour we just used, threw it in the grey, and that way we can put in a tree that's, well, maybe there's a couple that are there. See how yellow that looks? But it's actually very grey. It's interesting, isn't it, how colours are affected so much. So I'll put a bit more blue in it. It's probably a bit better. Have a tree growing out of that. Maybe another one there. Maybe there's a few back there. I won't bother putting too much detail in. I'll just give it a little bit of a. There's a few there as well. A little bit of light. Just mist that away a bit. Yeah, something like that. Can use this light actually to improve this. Bit of yellow. Have a branch that goes across that. Send that further away. We'll have it so it's not quite summer yet. Just have a lot of branches and stuff. So maybe we're coming towards April. Quite like that tree. Gonna have another one here, I think, or maybe one there. Get my bit of dark on that one side. Bit of that light on that part of the tree as well. Get a few roots. You can really go for it with roots, actually. Roots are fun to do, aren't they? There we go. I want some sort of grass now. I want to start... You do get like mossy sort of stuff, and I'm going to grab some of this mossy kind of stuff. I'm going to start bringing it over. Giving this area a bit more detail. I can always, as the brush loses paint, I can send it up here. So use most of the paint, and then I can just fade it off as it goes up there. Just a way of sort of bringing it together. That's what I'm doing there. Throwing in some of these colours, there'll be yellow ochres and greens. You can throw in a bit of red if you want to. Have a bit of grassy bits amongst this. Just a little bit of a red in that for a bit of a change. That bit more yellow ochre in it. Bit more yellow ochre there. You can imagine that sunlight is going to hit some of this, get some of this yellow ochre. It's just a thought, isn't it? Just a thought, get some of that. Maybe there's a bit there as well. So, that's quite nice. What I might do is I might start bringing in rocks into it, using a bit of blue, a bit of black. I mean a bit of black using using blue and brown, making my black. I'm just going to break up some of this, have some light and dark points, shapes. more of that green. That green's a bit much. I'm putting some shapes there, but then I'm going over them a little bit. It's just I felt like it needed a bit more straightening this way, and then because this is this way. I'm using a bluey sort of colour. I could. It's a bit too light actually. What's that like? That's also too light. This is a bit subtle really. Yeah, that's not too bad. I just want to give that something more. I think that'll do. I just wanted a little bit more colour to it. Yeah. That'll do. That'll do. I think I'll want just a change. A bit of yellow, ochre and white for a change. Just to do some different brush strokes. Some little sort of grassy areas, little clumps of grass. Quite like that. Just gives it something different brush strokes, because you don't want all your brush strokes to be the same. And something Monet said, there's lots of different types of brush strokes. Makes painting better. Well, he didn't actually say them in those words, but that's the gist of it. I'm thinking as well, could have a bit of light hitting this one side. There. I think when I look from a distance, the only thing I could think is it's a little bit I think we need some brighter whites just to blast this water a little bit. You know what it's like when you take a photo. It looks really white, doesn't it? Just a little bit down here as well. It's just personal preference. You make it as bright as you want it to be. That water sort of splishing along there. A bit of blue and white. Yeah. Quite like that. It's quite a nice little painting. Be nice to walk around this area. So I think I'll call this one finished. Do we have something in the water? What if I put in a made-up bird in the water? Sort of got a greeny red, a bit sort of something totally made up. Looks like a duck, but it's something else. Well, it is a duck. It's just a duck that I've made up. Have a red beak. And a red bit of wing here. I've got a little bird. Why not, eh? Why not? Looks like a nice place for a little bird to swim. And whenever I've gone to like the lakes and stuff, there's always like a little bird, isn't there? You always see one. Put a few marks here as well. A few grassy bits that are in the dark. Anyway, I think I'll call this one finished. So thanks very much for watching this one, and I'll see you at another one. Cheers, bye.